Hi team, Blake Sargent here today. I'm going to share with you or help answer the question around meetings. Which kind of meetings should we run in our healthcare practice? How often should we run them, and what should we cover in them? So as always, I'm going to share my screen. I'll make some notes as we go. And let's start with this. It's my favorite tool to start understanding how we look at meetings. So the first thing you need is one of these, a planner, a 12-month planner. Go on Amazon, spend £6-7 or whatever it is, and print yourself a planner so you can map out all the meetings for the upcoming year. So important that we have one of these designed every single year. We print them out. They're not cheap, but we print them out. We give them to all our mastermind clients. So first step, you got to get a planner, and you'll see why as we go through it. It will make your life a lot easier. So step one, let's align this to the left. Let's take the underline off. There we go. Get a planner. Right. Now, let's first understand what meetings are about. Nobody has a meeting just because they like the idea of having a meeting. It's got to be a purpose to a meeting. And I like to just take the word meeting away and replace it with the word communication. And we've got to communicate with our team because it's important, because we're a team. And so if we believe that's important to communicate with the team, to communicate our vision, to communicate ideas, to communicate progress in the business, to communicate areas of focus, then let's put time aside to have that communication time, either with a group of our team or one-to-one, and we'll cover that in, we'll cover which type of meetings you can do. But they're an investment and they're essential. But then it comes back to this question of, well, how often should I do them? And really, you know, when I run a team meeting, I've basically got to close the practice, and patients are the most important thing in my practice. So, you know, given the option of seeing a patient or having a team meeting, I'm going to see the patient. And we've got to get out of that mindset. We've got to go, no, team meetings are a priority. And when a practice gets busy, I've seen this many times, that the meetings get abandoned, and it's short-term thinking, because then the problems start to stack up. So what we want to do is we want to take our planner, and we want to, in advance for 12 months, we want to map out the non-negotiable essential meetings / communication time that we want to have with our team to keep us on track. So we're going to start thinking them as an investment versus rather than a nuisance, and we've got to prioritize. So let's look then at what types of meetings there are. So I'm going to go to spreadsheet. Here we go. Right, meetings. Here we go. Okay, so different types of meetings. You don't have to do all of them. I'm going to share with you what options you have, and then you can decide for you, because it depends on the size of your practice, what kinds of meetings you may choose to do. If you've got a practice like Optimize Health with 35 team members, you're going to do different types of meeting where you want to communicate to different sections of the business. You're not going to go, right, let's shut the entire practice every single week and do a team meeting for 3 hours. No, because that, you know, that's too much of an investment, right? So we want to be able to split them out. So a small business, generally a whole team meeting, you can get everybody together. Maybe there's one of you, maybe there's 2 or 3 of you, right? Whereas as we get bigger, we don't want the practice to grind to a halt. So we go, so we split different meetings out. So let's have a little look. You'll see along the bottom here, I've got, you know, every different type. I've got an agenda, or a framework, I should say, for every different type of meeting. But let's first look at what your options are. Okay, we can do a huddle. which is a daily short standing up meeting, 5 to 10 minutes, where there's no major agenda. It's just a way of getting the team together and connected. We have a whole team meeting. This is one of the non-negotiables. At some stage, at least once a month, we want to get the whole team together. Then, as I say, when we get bigger, we might have a lead admin or practice manager. We might even have a lead practitioner, and then we might have the owner. So we might want to do a leadership team meeting each month. And we don't need the whole team for that, but we want to get together our selected leaders and do a monthly session together. We then may have a practitioner team meeting where every month, or some of the guys I work with do it every week because they love doing it, where they sit down as a team, normally like the half hour before lunch, and then it rolls into lunch. And they go, okay, so let's talk about some of the patients that we've had this week. How did you treat them? How could we have, and maybe somebody comes along and does a little training, or go, oh, I did this thing with the laser, let me show you how I do it. So this is a nice one to have as well. Again, we don't need the whole team there for that. So we split out and we have a practitioner team meeting, highly valuable. And then again, if we've got an admin team, let's have an admin team meeting maybe once a month. Let's give them their dues and give them feedback as to the numbers behind what they're doing, how the performance is going, and engage them in setting the goals for the upcoming month. This next one, a one-to-one meeting, non-negotiable. Every single month, you need a one-to-one meeting with every single person in your practice, one-to-one. Currently at Optimize Health, 35 people. Troy, every single month, 35 one-to-ones. Yep. So these are absolutely essential. So far we've said the whole team meeting is a non-negotiable, and the one-to-ones are a non-negotiable. And this is where each month we sit down, and in the agenda, we works through a framework. Okay, cool. What's the biggest win you've had in the last month? Why is that significant? What do you want to achieve in the upcoming month? Again, we involve people in their own personal development. This is a collaborative process, not a, right, let me do a review and tell you where you're falling short and then tell you off and tell you what you need to do better. That's not what this is at all. This is an opportunity where you share that, you're part of the team. This is amazing. Let's sit down. Cool. So what's your biggest win? How things been going? How can I support you? Any roadblocks standing in your way? What can I help you with right now? And then we go into their practitioner scoreboard, which is cool. Let's see how your numbers are the last month so that you know how you're doing and how you're not doing. And we look at things like how many patients they saw, what they billed, how many products they sold, what their rebook rate was, new patient rebook rate was, cancellations, new patients, their average spend. We look at about 15 different metrics for every single practitioner. Because if they don't know how they're doing, then how can they improve? And at core, we all need growth. We all want to get better at what we're doing. But unless we've got some information that shows us how we're actually doing, then it's really difficult to improve. So that's a one-to-one. Okay, we've got quarterly team planning. Look, this one is basically a more in-depth version of your whole team meeting. So if you're doing a team meeting every month, make one of them your quarterly team meeting, which is a little bit more in-depth. I think it's great to do these off-site. And this is where we go, okay, let's review the last quarter. I'm going to share with you, our wins, and the performance. And now let's set the plan for the next 3 months. So what's the theme for the next quarter? So it's just a bit more of an in-depth version of a whole team meeting. Now, team alignment workshop. Again, this is just a more intense version or a more in-depth version of a whole team meeting because it involves the whole team. But once a year we go, let's go offsite. Let's go and have some fun. Let's go go-karting. Let's hang out for a whole day or half a day as a team. Let's review the entire year, congratulate ourselves for all the great stuff we've done, and let's set an intention, a vision for what's coming up in the next 12 months. I would say this one is a non-negotiable. So we've had monthly team meetings, monthly one-to-ones with each team member, and the yearly team alignment workshop, non-negotiables. So, and I'll work through this with you in a second, but that's where, no, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to show you how to plot these out, which is why we have this. You'll realize how easy this actually is to set out for the upcoming 12 months. So then we've got another one is development review, which is the annual version of the one-to-one, non-negotiable. So every 12 months, one of the one-to-ones we have with someone, we sit down and we go, let's look at the last 12 months. Let's set an intention for the next 12 months. Then we have a type of meetings, the post-probation appraisal at the end of 6 months. So that's it. This is non-negotiable as well for everybody that's new in the practice. At the end of 6 months, we do the post-probation appraisal. We've got an agenda for that as well. And then don't forget the celebration and the social. One of the biggest values to meetings is actually just in the fact that people are hanging out together. So yes, we want an agenda for each team meeting, but you'll see, but we also want, look, a warm-up activity here. We just want people to get together. They're a team. We want people to hang out. We want those conversations to have. Otherwise, we're like ships in the night, all just doing our own roles, but never actually getting together. So there's huge value in just getting the team together. And often when I work with someone, they say, well, you know, what about my, here we go, team alignment workshop, my yearly one. What shall I cover with them? Right, okay, I've got this. And they come up with this list of things. And I say, don't worry. It's a lot easier than you think, because the main focus of it is for you guys just to hang out for the day. So if the first exercise or the first hour is a round table where you just go through the wins around the room and you just chat, then that's okay. That's just about connecting the team. You know, take them go-karting, paintballing, whatever, magic happens there. So we've got to acknowledge that it's a massive investment. It's an important investment to make sure your team actually get the opportunity to hang out with each other, to get to know each other. And that's when the conversations happen about, oh, I didn't know you were into reggae, or I didn't know that. We've got to create that space. So, here's what I would say. Let's do this. Decide the meetings relevant to you. I'm going to put the non-negotiables in. Whole team is monthly, at least. One-to-ones, monthly. Let's do this yearly team alignment. And let's do yearly appraisal. Okay, so those four are the non-negotiables. Now I'm going to give you an example of how easy this is to do. I've got on a slightly different planner here. This is the most basic framework. And if we work out, well, what would 1 month's worth of meetings look like? Then we just can repeat that 12 times. So in here you go, January, we go, let's make this the team meeting. And, you know, you might do it on the 10th of every month, or you might just go first Monday or second Monday of every month. Don't do it right at the start of the month, because you need time to collect the data and fill out your scoreboards for the previous month. So we want to be able to go to the team meetings going, cool, results are in. let's have a look at how we performed as a practice last month. Oh my God, look how many patients we saw. Oh, I'll rebook. Our net promoter score is the best it's ever been. How amazing is that? So we don't want them right at the beginning of the month. Same with the monthly one-to-ones, which is this one. You don't do them right at the beginning because you've got to have a bit of time to get the data together. So if you look in here, all we've done is gone, right, let's do a team meeting every month, and we just drag this down and we go, boom, team meetings done for the year. Right, monthly one-to-ones, done for the year. Map them out, you know, in here, put them up in the staff room or put them somewhere in the practice so that they know 12 months, this is when it is. And because they're important, we can say, okay, guys, you know, when you're booking your holiday for the year, let's aim to avoid these, but at least you can map out in advance, this is when they are. It's really important, especially for the yearly alignment. And actually, here we go. So in here, I've said that this is a whole team. Every quarter here, a slightly different color. That's our quarterly team meeting. Yeah. And here on this June, we've gone, this is the alignment day where we're spending a day together. So an hour, half a day, an hour, a day, an hour, half a day, an hour, half a day, in short. Now, there's a bit of a mistake on here. And that is that don't run your yearly team alignment workshop in the middle of the summer. I didn't think about that when I was actually just setting out this example. Much like when we set our live mastermind events for our guys that we do 4 times a year, I try and find the most boring weeks possible. What I mean is I avoid half terms. I avoid school holidays. So no half terms, no Easter holidays, summer holidays, avoid them, avoid bank holidays. I just try and find a boring week in February where nothing else is particularly going on. So the likelihood is nobody's away on holiday. We learned that the hard way. I've made mistakes like that in the past. We did one on like a long bank holiday and people came, but then they were like, come on guys, it's bank holiday. Can you just do it on a different week? I was like, yeah, fair play. So now we map them out and we avoid these. So put these well in advance. And if you say, for example, here in the end of September, when kids are at school, most people aren't going on holiday at this time, generally speaking, or perhaps even like, and this part of October is actually half term. I know, because that's my birthday and it always used to land in half term. But yeah, you just want to find a boring week for the yearly team alignment. So you see how very quickly we can map out an entire year's worth of meetings, and then we want to share that with the team. And look, there's just an additional benefit to this. It just shows your team how organized you are, right? We've got all the team meetings planned for the next year. Put them in the clinical diary as well. Put them up, either just do them on an Excel spreadsheet like this, or like I say, just get a nice planner like this, map them out for the year, and get people to avoid booking holidays on those times. So let's just recap that. So step 1, decide which team meetings you need. If you're a small practice, it's just those 4 really. The bigger you get, you might split them out and go, actually, let's do a practitioner team meeting each week or each month. Let's do a leadership team meeting each week or each month. Just check actually if I had another planner in there. Yeah, okay. So this planner shows for a slightly bigger practice where we have exactly the same here as we had in the smaller business. But look here, we've put in a practitioner team meeting once a month. Yeah. And we've put in a leadership team meeting once a month. So what that means is as an owner, you pretty much have a meeting every week. But what you're doing is, I know that if I put these in the diary, that I am prioritized, I'm investing in having that communication time with the with the right kind of people and in the right amount of frequency. I need to speak to my leadership team once a month. I need to speak to my whole team once a month. I'm going to run a practitioner team meeting once a month. I'm going to run the one-to-ones each month as well. So there's a bit of work in that, but don't make sure you do these. This is part and parcel of running a great practice. So many people just prioritize patients, and then 6 months goes by and they haven't really had a team meeting. So they haven't really communicated with their team. The team aren't aligned because they don't know the vision. They don't know how they're getting on because they've got no feedback from scoreboards. They don't know what the net promoter score of the practice is like. They've got nothing to work on. And then we wonder why problems start popping up. Okay. So that's that one. Then map out your 12 months. Look in here. We do an agenda. Sorry, this is a framework. Agenda is really what you put into it. And don't overthink this. Just map out a very brief agenda, a brief framework for each meeting, and just make it sure it's the same each time. And it can evolve over time, but the way we do it, little warm up, get the room going, then scoreboard, meaning let's look at what happened the last month and what's upcoming for the next month. Then team project reports, actions from our last meeting, new stuff, and then what's going to happen next. And then if you want, you can get somebody to run the team meeting each month, so you can appoint a leader if you want. Do the first few yourself. And then again, we just have a very simple one-to-one check-in agenda as well, which in fact gets sent out to the practitioners beforehand. They complete this in advance so that they come prepared to the meeting and they can help drive the agenda. So then it becomes a collaborative process of going, awesome, thanks for filling out your sheet. Right, let's go through it. So your biggest win in the last month, talk to me about that. But they're so important. That's why we put weight on them. That's why we go, okay, look, if you want to get the most out of this mentoring relationship, I'm going to send you this sheet in advance. It's what we do with our one-to-one clients in the Hive as well. Like that they want help, guidance to create a much better practice. So every single month, anyone that I work with fills out a coaching form where they set the agenda, they look at what they've done well, they look at where their gaps are, they put all their data in, and then when we actually come to the meeting, I'm prepared and I can go, great, right, let's look at, let's acknowledge what you've done, and now let's set a goal for the next month. It's the same with the one-to-one meetings as well. So voila. Don't overthink the agenda framework, but set a framework for each type of meeting. Voila. Okay, so there we go. What you want to end up with is a completed one of this, just maps out every type of meeting you're going to have, the frequency, and the exact dates that you're going to have them for the upcoming 12 months. Marvelous. Let's leave it there for today. Hope that helps. I'll see you guys again very soon.